In this section, we're going to take a look at the next section of volume, which is going to be the volume of pyramids and cones. So let's start out with pyramids. I have a little video to show you. So if I take a look at this video here, you can see that the pyramid on the left is has a square base, and it has the same base as one of the bases of the cube. And so you fill the volume of one of the pyramids, and that's filling up the cube. Two of the pyramids, and a third pyramid, and you can see that three of the pyramids will fill up perfectly the volume of one cube that has exactly the same base. So going back to the worksheet, the volume of any pyramid with a base area B and the altitude h is going to be 1/3 of the volume of the prism with the same base area and height. So the volume is going to be 1/3, that's the volume of a pyramid, 1/3 of the base of the pyramid times the height of the pyramid. Or basically it's going to be 1/3 of a cube with this as the base. Okay, so let's take a look at different problems here. The bases don't have to be a square, but in this first one it is going to be a square, regular square pyramid. It has a base perimeter of 80 and an altitude of 23. When we're talking about the altitude here, we're talking about the altitude of a pyramid, which is the height of the pyramid from the vertex to the center of the base. And so it's going to be form a right angle right there. And so this volume is just going to be 1/3 of the base of the pyramid times the height, which we know is the same as the altitude. And it says the perimeter of the base is 80, so we know that this is going to be 20. Each side is going to be 20. So it's going to be 1/3 of the base of the pyramid, area of the base, which is just going to be 400, times the height, which is 23. If I plug it in my calculator, I get 3066 and 2/3. Moving on to the next one, you have a regular pentagonal pyramid, so you have a regular pentagon for the base. And each base edge has a side of 10. Now, this kind of goes back to one of the earlier sections. I know that chapter 10, we talked about these regular polygons. And we know that we can find the angle measure for each of these in a regular one. In the case of a pentagon, it's going to be 108. So I know that this angle here is actually going to be 54. If I draw in an altitude like this, I can go ahead and I can find that altitude using a little bit of trigonometry, because I know that this side length is going to be 5. It splits the 10 in half. And so I can do the tangent of 54 degrees is equal to the opposite side, which is, we'll call it x, over the adjacent side, which is 5. X will end up being 6.88. And so I know that the volume is going to be 1/3 of the base times the height. The height is 18. So I can plug in 18 here. It'll be 1/3. The base, if you remember from an earlier chapter, the last chapter 12, I believe, 1/2 apothem times the perimeter times 18. The apothem is going to be 6. 0.88. And yes, that was thunder in the background. It's raining as I'm filming this video. And the perimeter of this thing is going to be 50. Plug all that in, I get 1032 as my volume for that pentagonal pyramid. Okay, we'll move on to the backside. The backside is going to be all about cones and finding volumes of cones. Okay, we are on to the backside of this volume worksheet, and we're looking at cones. And if you think about it, a square pyramid is going to, the formula for a volume is going to be 1/3 base times the height. A pentagonal pyramid, which we did on the front side, so 5 sides, 10 sides, still going to have the same formula. 100 sides going to be the same formula right here. 1,000 sides, 1,000,000 sides. Eventually, this thing is going to start looking like, as I increase the number of sides, it's going to start looking like, hopefully you can see this, like a cone. And so the volume of a cone is just going to be exactly the same formula as the volume of a pyramid. It's going to be 1/3 of the base of the cone times the height. So the volume of a cone with a base circumference of 10 pi is going to be, okay, if circumference is 10 pi, we know that the radius is just going to be 5. And it says the height is equal to the radius, so that height is also going to be 5 here. So it's going to be 1/3 the base, which is pi r squared, or pi times 25, times the height, which is 5. And so you get 41 and like 2/3 pi. Moving on to the second problem here, and probably the last problem I'll do on this worksheet. A cone is sliced in half. I think this problem was on one of your recent homeworks. And this is an equilateral triangle here with a side length of 4. So this is 4, 4, 4 here. I want to find the volume of this thing. So I need the height, and so I can draw in an altitude like so. That's going to be the height, or the altitude of the cone. And I know that this is going to be 2 and 2 on the bottom here. Hopefully you can see this is a 60-degree angle. This is going to be 2√3 using 30, 60, 90 magic. And so my volume is just going to be, well, the volume of a cone is 1/3 base times the height. We know that this is only half of a cone. I'm going to take half of that. And so it's going to be equal to 1/2 of 1/3. Base is just going to be an area of pi r squared, or pi times 4. And the height's going to be 2√3, which we found right here. Plug that all in, simplify it, I get 4/3√3 pi. And that's it. That's all there is to finding volume of pyramids and cones. I'll let you go ahead and take a shot at the homework. Good luck with it. Okay, take care.